Hi friends, and welcome to part 2, where today we're going to be discussing anxiety versus promptings of the Spirit. And it is something that I have been trying to figure out for all of my adult life. And I gain a little bit of an understanding, and then I have a new lesson to learn about it. But my first lesson started back in that conversion process that I had. And I had come to that crossroads in my life, was trying to decide what path I wanted to take, and had prayed to God to ask him if I should join the Mormon church because of this path that I wanted to pursue. And I had, after I had said that prayer, or might have been before I said that prayer, I decided to call the church building where there was always a phone hanging on a hallway that we would use to call and get a hold of each other. It was back in the day where you had to know where your friends were and call them where they were at, or you never got a hold of them. And I knew because of the time of day, no one would be in that hallway and no one would answer that phone. But that was really the only thing that I knew how to do. And I wasn't going to call any of my friends because I wanted this journey to be my own. I didn't want to be influenced by loyalty or anything like that. And so I had told God, listen, I've done all that I can do, all that I have the strength for. If you want me to be a Mormon, you need to send me the missionaries. And the next day, the missionaries knocked on my door, and it scared the pants off of me. And I am embarrassed to admit, but I will admit to you that my mom had answered the door, and I saw the white shirts, and I immediately ran into my bedroom and hid under the covers. And kind of had a laugh at myself that I thought that I was actually hiding from God under my covers, like he couldn't see me. But I was just petrified of what was now expected of me. I promised I would act, and now I had to act. And so, long story short, called the missionaries, started taking the discussions. But there was anxiety there. There was severe anxiety happening in my life, so much so that I went in my bedroom and hid under my covers and refused to talk to the missionaries. They got their own heart attack when I called them the next day and told them to come teach me the discussions, so we're even. But that was my first starting to notice this anxiety that happens in your life when you're asking for things from God, that there could be some anxiety. Now I'm going to jump to last year. We made some serious life decisions, decided to sell our dream house, move out to the mountains so that I could give my kids a better education and that I could give them some more things to focus on in their lives other than electronics. And it's not exactly going to plan the way I had envisioned, but it was definitely the right thing to do. But the process itself was scary. I had a lot of fear, and the culmination of this fear that I had in knowing what I needed to do, and actually being able to have the strength to do it. We had made an offer on a different house and felt like we were supposed to. And all of a sudden I was filled with dread. I had anxiety over all the things that were wrong with it and wasn't really sure why we had made the decision in the first place. And so I had to ask myself, am I doubting something now? The Lord's already told me to do it. Did he actually tell me to do it? Am I feeling anxiety because of the work that needs to go into it? Or am I feeling anxiety because this isn't the right thing to do? And knowing that the Lord doesn't motivate in anxiety and fear, I was really super confused and frustrated. And my real estate agent talked us into going and looking at some other houses because this other house was a short sale and it was taking, we were like 5 months in and still didn't know. And she took us to some other houses, and I looked at a lot of houses. The one that we're in right now ended up popping up in the market. We went and looked at it, and I knew instantly that that was where I was supposed to be. But then I went back to the Lord, and I was a little upset because I didn't know why I gotten an answer yes before, and now it wasn't okay, and I was getting an answer now. And I didn't know how to interpret that at all. And so, sorry, I told him, listen, you know who I am. You know I'm confused. You know what I'm capable of understanding. So you're going to have to find a way to tell me in a way that is crystal clear that I am not confused anymore. And my best inspiration comes very early in the morning, before I'm fully conscious of waking up. That's when things start to come to me, and I really have to pay attention when I wake up what's been going on in my mind so that I can remember it. And I came to awareness and consciousness, and I got this checklist in my mind. Here's the things that you were worried about, and these are the things that this new house fixes for you. Now, I still don't know the answer of why the first house was a yes. We've made many speculations between my husband and I, but it was definitely, if nothing else, a learning experience to know the difference between anxiety and being prompted by the Lord. And if you're confused, ask for him to be more specific, to speak to you in a way that you can't misunderstand. Now, that process to me to get to that was over a month long. It didn't happen one day. It was a struggle for me to figure out what was going on and what I was supposed to do, because it was a huge decision that I didn't want to mess up. There were a lot of things in play. And so I would just invite each of you to understand your anxiety and ask yourself in those moments, what does this mean? Is this truth? Am I afraid of something? What am I afraid of? And what do I need to do? And have that relationship and communication with the Lord so that you can figure it out. It will be a lifelong struggle. By no means am I done learning that lesson, not even a little bit. I am going to keep continuing to learn it over and over and over again. And hopefully this helps some of you out there. Anxiety is a big problem, and everybody experiences it, some to some degree more than others. And we need to learn to work through it and to hear the voice of the Lord and understand what we need to do. Hopefully that helps. Thanks for watching. Bye.